How's it going, YouTube? So in today's video, I'm going to show you how to fix a non-functioning power button. This is an iPad Air 3. And yeah, so I'm going to show you basically step-by-step things to avoid, how to remove the screen without breaking it, and then obviously how to actually fix it. It's this tiny little thing. It's only a few bucks. I don't even think that I'm going to need this because it's just I would say more often than not, the reason I'm doing this repair is because it's just jammed up here. So what I'll more than likely end up having to do is just get a filing set, and I'm just going to pop this button out, file it from the inside out, and just make sure it has proper, that it doesn't get stuck like it is now. But I have this as a backup. So yeah, let's get started. So the most important thing probably on this is removing the screen without breaking it. You're gonna need a couple of things for that. This is amazing. If you don't have one, go out and buy one. Seriously, like ever since I started using these, my fear of breaking screens, because obviously we need to be able to reuse this, but my fear of damaging or cracking the glass, taking it off, just absolutely plummeted. I used to use like a really thin pry tool. Before that, I used to use these. These were nerve-wracking. If you use this, just the possibility of you damaging the screen, cracking it, taking it off goes up tremendously. So stop what you're doing, buy one of these. There's a link in the description. But we're doing either one of a couple of things. I'm going to be using a combination of my heat gun and then also my heat mat. And there are a couple of strips of adhesive, and it's basically one right here along the top, and then two more, and they start from the upper left and upper right. They go all the way down, and then they stop at the home button. And essentially what I'm doing is I'm just removing you'll see in just a sec, but I use this, and then I'm going to separate, like you can already see this is happening. This has already cooled down a little bit, so I'm going to warm it up again. But the idea is, and you might have to put some tape, because these have a habit of, this matte finish doesn't like, it doesn't like the suction cup. So yeah, I'm going to heat it up. But yeah, more or less it's just going to speed ramp through this. But as you can see, it starts separating right there. Then we come in and we peel out, at least for the first one, I'll do that. The corners are always a bit nerve-wracking. It's the screen protector that's broken. But I'm going to shift and it tore. Yay. All right, honestly, should have had a longer piece of tape. And that's not going to work very well. All right, so I'm going to start this from this side. I'm going to reposition going to switch again. So really it's just, there's two pieces on the corner, and these are usually, once you get past these two, the bottom two are a lot easier. And you want to start with the top because our flex cables are down below, and you can only lift this up so high. You can lift the top up. You have a lot more mobility. So it is by far not the most glamorous thing. If anything, it is quite boring and just nerve-wracking, because you're doing everything in your power to not use too much heat, not crack the glass. But the heat mat and the ice clack, and just, you know, pay a little bit of patience, will do wonders. As you can see, I'm using my Magic Glass. You can also use an iFixit Jimmy, but you're using it more of, how do I say, almost like a wedge, where you're sort of propping up the screen and then heating it up as you go along. So I hope that helps. So I realize I'm sort of doing this out of order from what I told you, but this is more annoying than, yeah. I might have to do the same thing I did here, which is heat up the corner and then use, ideally, I'm going to make a video about this, but I love this thing, but you can't find it, and this is the next best. And ideally, I want to use tools that you'll also be using to hopefully give you more confidence. And it's starting to put up a fight. So I'm going to... Yeah, I don't have a good feeling about that. Alright, so it lifted right there. Alright. So you always want to sort of, I don't know, shimmy, if that would be the word. We're going to heat up this corner again. Yeah. So I'll show you in just a sec. But now we need to, there is still residual adhesive left, so you just want to lift up gently or put it on the heater again. So as we can see, our display is functional. Glass is undamaged. Now I'm going to try to get this on video. But we have, yeah, you can see it right here. All right, now, very important. Very important. Okay, so before you go disconnecting either one of those, you need to disconnect our battery, which is right here. And then we come in with our isolation tool. Okay, I seem to have lost the isolation tool that I actually like. So we're gonna make our own, because this one is too big. That's normally what I would use. And a lot of the other models, you can sort of lift up the screen and you have a lot more room. But you basically just want to make something like, honestly, this is probably way too wide. But just needs to look something like this. And you can all right, as you can see, our power is disconnected. I'll give you a better angle of it in just a sec. A little bit closer together. So probably this. Yeah, that's actually a lot better. So here's what we're aiming for. I'm gonna edit all this out. So here's what we're aiming for. Something like this, just for comparison. If you have one of these, this is iFixit's. I think this is just a bit, you don't have enough working room. So if you can, get a playing card, thin piece of plastic. Just like that. Like, I'm gonna keep this one actually, because I don't know what happened to my other one. All right, in no particular order, but we're definitely going to take our screen, set it aside. So I'm speed ramping through the adhesive removal and then the cleaning portion. But yeah, I'm using a Chisel Blade 17A. And then once I'm done with that, I go in with a isopropyl alcohol pad. I like to squeeze out. There's a little bit too much 70% in there, and I replace it with 91. I use 99. You can use 91%, but that just preps the frame for the adhesive primer that I use before I put on my adhesive. So yeah, there'll be links for all of this in the description. It almost looks like there's a hook right here. There we go. Oh, yeah, so there was one right here. Yeah, right here. That's what I was looking at. So I guess we would have to push sort of down and forward. Thanks, Apple. 5 screws wasn't enough. All right, next. Let's see. Ooh. All right. We may or may not have to remove our camera. Let's see. Oh, that's cool. You should be able to just pop this out. All right. There is a sort of, and I'll mention this again, but there is sort of a orientation that this fits in. So it's rounded on this side, and then there's a little divot in the upper right. Now, I'm going to mention this ahead of time. It is very important that you don't over-file this, because the last thing that you want, so I don't know if you can see this. I'll try to zoom in. But there was a little shelf right here, and we don't want to file it past that point, because then the button is just going to we don't want to file it past that little shelf, because then the button is just going to fall out that way. So that slots right in. All right, now we're going to go and test. Now's the moment of truth. Ah! Cue the soundtrack. Hallelujah. So, not that it really matters. I mean, the grand scheme of what I'm charging the customer for the repair, it was 99.5% labor. Maybe not that much. But these are relatively inexpensive. But I'd always want to have these just in case I damaged this during disassembly. So definitely if you're watching this ahead of time. So, first of all, if you've got this far and you think, hell no, I do mailings. Second, I also buy iPhones. Working, broken, whatever. Even if it looks like this, I'm still interested. Link in the description. Let's make a deal. All right, there we go. Now I can proceed with... Now, if you're only ever doing the occasional iPad repair, I think I mentioned this earlier, but there are these 3M primer pens. They come in I think a 3-pack. It's less than $10, but it definitely helps the adhesive, whatever adhesive you're going to use, stick to the frame and just keeps bezel separation from happening. I like to go the extra mile for paying customers because, you know, I'm on the hook for things. If, you know, the customer calls me and there's a bezel separation issue, I'm not going to say no, but I just like to avoid all of that by, you know, going the extra mile right now. So now we come in. So I'm pretty much going to be using, I don't know which one this is. I'll throw it up right here. I think it's like 1 or 2 mil. I'm going to use a little bit thicker, probably 2 or 3. I think this is 1. All right, next, where the heck is it? We're going to come here with my battery isolation tool. And I'm going to try to get this on video. I know the lighting isn't very great right there. All right, then we come remove that. So the screen works, Touch ID works. Power button works. So I'm going to call this a success. So I'm now going to move on to... I don't have one of those lying around. I forgot I have these. I have a bit. It's so much easier. Like I said, they give you barely any room. I think a robot would have no problem with this whatsoever. Once again, test it. Where the heck did my home button go? Right here. So yeah, you obviously want to be very careful, very gentle, not to accidentally tug or lift up on the screen too much. Once we're here, Then we can start. Adhesives. And we just have one more. Oh my God, really? Dude, are you fucking kidding me? No. 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 Exactly what I told you not to do, I accidentally did. The iPad shifted ever so slightly, and the touch flex basically disconnected ever so slightly. I don't know what happened to this freaking home button. And I was livid for all of a couple minutes. And then I basically undid everything. So I immediately assumed the worst. Oh my God, I'm gonna have to buy my customer's screen. I'm gonna have to wait a couple of days, but we are good to go. So now I'm just gonna put it on my heat pad. It helps to put a few books on this. So basically warm it up and then put some books on top of it, or just something heavy, a couple of pounds. It just helps the adhesive basically cure to the frame. But yeah, that's basically it.